I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
So the NBA playoffs have officially wrapped up, and boy, was it a crazy postseason. Legacies were created, young teams showed their potential, and of course, there were the bad ones, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. Today I'll be looking at 3 players whose legacies have been ruined due to the 2018 NBA playoffs. If you are new and enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content, but with that being said, let's get right into this top 3. Number 1. Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard is a really ironic situation. It's funny because for years and years now, Damian Lillard has said multiple times per season that he is overlooked, underrated, and underappreciated. A lot of people agreed with him, but Dame had no real chance to prove that he was so great in the playoffs until this year. Prior to this season, the Blazers had taken exits in the playoffs to the Warriors for the last 2 seasons, but the Blazers finished with a superb record and got the 3rd seed in the West. Now, this is where Damian Lillard had the best chance to shine and prove to everyone how he was so great. He would be doing it against the New Orleans Pelicans, who were playing without DeMarcus Cousins, their 2nd star. A lot of people tipped the Blazers in 6 or 7, and there was a rare occasion that someone would pick the Pelicans in 7. As we know, the Blazers lost the series, but the thing that is really going to ruin Damian's legacy here is the fact that the Blazers did not win one single game. Not one. This is what is going to stay in Lillard's legacy forever, if not ruin it altogether. The fact they couldn't even pull out one game, even with the fact that the Pelicans' 2nd star was out and they had home court advantage. Lillard and Portland couldn't even take one single game. Lillard shot really poorly in the series, below 35% from the field and below 30% from 3. It was just a really disappointing end to a season from a player who many saw as a potential MVP candidate. So, Lillard, there may actually be method behind the so-called madness you call the people underrating you. Number 2. Carmelo Anthony. Man, Carmelo Anthony, what do I say? It's hard to fathom how Carmelo performed so atrociously for the Thunder, especially during the playoffs. Carmelo fell from a 43% shooter scoring 20 points per game in New York to a 16-point scorer on 40% field goal shooting in Oklahoma during the regular season to a 12 points per game scorer on 37% shooting in the playoffs. But why did this happen? Well, there's 2 reasons. One is because Carmelo has a massive ego, and apparently him coming off the bench will ruin that. Like, buddy, you're in your 15th season, all you do is spot up shoot, and you can't even do that well. All you need to do is come off the bench, it will help spacing and make the bench for your team so much better and have more depth. But when Carmelo is asked about this, is told the pros for doing it, he either laughs or says, "I'm not sacrificing my role," or something like that. I'm 100% sure the Thunder would have won 50 or more games this season if Carmelo just came off the bench, and they definitely could have beaten the rookie-led Utah Jazz, but they couldn't even do that, which is so sad. But you can't blame this all on Carmelo. The coach of the Thunder, Billy Donovan, needs to man up. I feel like he is scared to ask Carmelo to come off the bench because he'll lose respect from him. Basketball's a business, like any job. If your employee is not working up to standard, maybe you should give them a lesser role, not keep letting them do what they do and ruining the standard of the team. But how does this make Carmelo's legacy ruined? Well, to be completely honest, Carmelo kind of looks like a bit of a scumbag not coming off the bench. All he is doing is being selfish and not accepting that after 15 years, he may be slowing down a bit. Melo, you aren't LeBron, get that in your head, maybe you do need to come off the bench. Because 10 years from now, people will look back on the season, question how good you really were, and wondered why you weren't on the bench, having a much bigger impact. That, Carmelo Anthony, is going to ruin your legacy. Number 3. DeMar DeRozan. Finally, we'll close the video out with DeMar DeRozan. Another ironic one. Back in December of 2017, I made a video saying how I don't trust the Raptors and how I don't think this will be their year again, no matter how much hype they get. I stuck by that, and I'm glad I did, because if I didn't, I would look so dumb. The Raptors got swept again by LeBron James. This series was simply just an embarrassment. One significant part of that embarrassment is DeMar DeRozan and his efforts versus the Cavs. This year was supposed to be the year of the Raptors. Everything was going their way. They nearly won 60 games and got the 1st seed in the Eastern Conference. But none of this mattered against the Cavaliers. To keep it simple, the Raptors did what they are best known for: choking. Looking at DeMar DeRozan's playoff stats, they don't seem that bad at first glance. 23 points a game, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 43% from the field. It's not that bad at all. But you have to look beyond the surface to uncover the truth about these stats, because it's not all it's made out to be. Against the Washington Wizards, DeRozan was averaging 28 points a game and shooting quite well. These are great stats. I mean, he was averaging 5 more points a game than his regular season average. But what really shocked me is his terrible performances against the Cavs. He averaged 17.2 points in the series and shot poorly in a couple of those games. You may still be saying that DeRozan didn't choke and just had a bad couple of games, but hear me out. In the final 2 games against the Cavs, games 3 and 4, DeMar DeRozan scored 8 points and 13 points, and in one of those games shot 27% from the field. Remember, these games basically decided the series. I don't know what you guys think, but that sounds like a big choke to me. Again, they were the deciding games in the series, and since he played so poorly, they lost the series. This was supposed to be the Raptors' year, to change the stereotype that they were chokers, and unfortunately, they couldn't do that. And with major changes seeming to head their way, maybe it's going to stay that way for DeMar DeRozan, and that will simply ruin his legacy. And that will conclude the top 3. What do you guys think of this? Did the playoffs ruin these players' legacies? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out.
Ain't no baby bottle today. Took a model and went on a date. Put a dick all in the face.